Get a taste.
Fuddruckers, come on over to the fun. Take your taste to a different place.
You're watching WTVJ NBC 6, where the news comes first. This is Channel 6 News at noon.
Remember this sight? The flames came dangerously close. Zoo handlers racing to get animals out of harm's way and firefighters battling back a potential disaster. Well, today the zoo is cleaning up and open to the public, and everybody is watching for another flare-up at Metro Zoo. Good afternoon, I'm Kelly Craig.
And I'm Bob Mayer in for Jose Diaz-Balart. That story in a moment, but first, this breaking story to tell you about. 10-year-old Matthew Blackburn, the sole survivor of a tragic plane crash in the Keys, is being released from the Ryder Trauma Center at Jackson Hospital. NBC 6 reporter Nick Bogert is live at Jackson with the latest. Nick?
Bob, Matthew Blackburn came out of the Ryder Trauma Center about 10 minutes ago. He is on his way back to Charleston, South Carolina. He'll be cared for in a hospital there. We have some pictures that we took just a few moments ago. He has 2 broken arms, a broken leg, a gash in his head, and he had perforated intestines when he arrived here. He's been at Jackson Memorial 8 days, has Matthew Blackburn, since the seaplane that he and his family were in crashed into shallow waters just off Key West just after takeoff on Sunday a week ago. The pilot and 4 members of Matthew's family were killed: his father Lynn, mother Pamela, his brother Jonathan, and his 3-year-old sister Martha. His grandfather Howard has been here at the hospital, and he left along with Matthew today. They are going back again to South Carolina. We are told that Matthew has no memory of the crash, or very little memory anyway, and no fear of flying again in an air ambulance going back to Charleston, South Carolina. We have with us Dr. G. Patricia Cantwell, who's been among the doctors been caring for Matthew here. What is his physical condition and his prognosis?
Matthew is in stable condition. He's recovering from his injuries that you mentioned, his intestinal wounds, and as well as his multiple fractures. And he's on his way back to the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston for his rehabilitation.
With proper care, though, he will recover fully?
Yes, we have every expectation that he'll have a full recovery after he gets over his injuries and his mental rehabilitation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cantwell. Mental rehabilitation was indeed tended to here at the Ryder Trauma Center as well. Again, the family, the grandfather, Howard, did not comment to us today, but he did wave to the cameras, and in the past, the family has expressed gratitude for all the support from the South Florida community. Matthew Blackburn on the way back to South Carolina now. We're live at Ryder Trauma Center. Nick Bogert, NBC 6.
Boy, Nick, you could really tell how grateful the grandfather was to the doctors and nurses who cared for his grandson, too, huh?
Well, obviously, they've been through quite an ordeal together, and that tends to bond people, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Nick, thanks a lot. Now, back to our other top story. Metro Zoo is reopened for business today following that wild brush fire that burned 100 acres of property and forced the zoo to close for the weekend. The animals are safely back home, too. The visitors are back as well, but there's still plenty of work to be done. NBC 6 reporter Ed O'Dell joins us now live from Metro Zoo. What's going on, Ed?
Well, Kelly, this morning there were busloads of kids waiting to get in when Metro Zoo reopened its doors at 9:30. However, the fire danger is not over. There's still flames around and the wind is blowing. Now, investigators believe teenagers set the fire that led to the evacuation of 2,000 people and 35 animals as flames raced towards the zoo. 26 youngsters and several teachers from the Heritage School were among the first through the newly reopened gates at Metro Zoo. Over the weekend, they were worried about being disappointed.
I was concerned for the animals, yes, and then hoping that we wouldn't miss our trip also, but mostly for the animals, because we could always come later.
The zoo was shut down when a racing brush fire tore through 120 acres of Metro Zoo timberland. 35 animals, including Bennett wallabies and warthogs, are back at home after being forced out when the blaze rushed up to their back door. The wind and these flames tell a critical story. The danger isn't over just yet.
That's something we have to really keep our eye out for, because any one of these burning embers can go to a place that hasn't burned yet, and we got a problem all over again. So it's really up to our staff to monitor this very closely now.
Now the sound of heavy machinery knocking down potential fuel for a new fire mingles with the sounds of the Wild Kingdom at Metro Zoo. After a $25,000 loss at the gate over the weekend, the return of visitors, a breath of fresh air, though the smoke still lingers. How about the animals? How did they fare?
I think they fared very well. We're going to really have to pay very close attention to them for the next few days, because sometimes lung problems, respiratory problems can develop as time goes on after smoke inhalation.
But right now it's kind of windy out here at Metro Zoo, and that's a double-edged sword. It has the potential to blow some of those embers into some dry wood and rekindle the flames. But on the other hand, it's blowing some of the thick smell of smoke that was hanging over Metro Zoo this morning. Reporting live from South Dade, I'm Ed Odell, NBC 6.
All right, thanks, Ed. And we do have reports now into the NBC 6 newsroom of new brush fires out in West Dade. Sky 6 is headed for the scene, and we'll have pictures for you just as soon as we get them. New information today about the body found inside a burned-out van in Weston over the weekend. Police now say the victim apparently shot himself before the car's engine caught fire. The victim's identity is still a mystery. Investigators say the body was so badly burned, they are unable to tell the victim's sex, race, or age. They hope the dental records will help them find out who the victim is.
And a couple of other fires, also believed to have been deliberately set, are sending shivers through one South Florida community. Somebody set the fires at the Palm Air condominium complex soon after residents found a swastika scratched inside an elevator at the building. NBC 6 reporter Willard Shepard is live at the scene with more. Willard?
Well, Kelly, the residents here are clearly upset, as you mentioned. Let me show you what's been going on inside the building over the last couple of days here. There are about 90 units inside the building here, a lot of senior citizens. Here is one of the fires that took place over the weekend. This is in a reading room where many of the retired people go to sit and read their books and magazines. Damage there quite severe. They're trying to clean that up now. This is all that residents are talking about today. Some of them saying they may actually move out because of what has happened. Damage and another fire inside an elevator took place over the weekend. 2 fires on one day here, and also a swastika that was found inside another elevator here. All of it clearly has the residents upset here. Some of them even talking about moving. They want more security. They're telling people to be careful about who they let in the building. A lot of the residents said to me, though, they think it's actually someone in the building who is doing all of this. We'll have details tonight on the NBC 6 News. For now, in Pompano Beach, reporting live, Willard Shepard, NBC 6.
Willard, is there any security in that building right now?
They don't have a security guard specifically assigned to this building, but this is a large complex with a number of buildings here, and there is a roving patrol, 2 security officers on patrol 24 hours a day.
All right, thanks, Willard. Police are investigating a frightening drive-by shooting on I-95 just north of Hallandale Beach Boulevard. 4 young people left Zipper's nightclub at about 3 a.m. Sunday morning and got on the highway. Shortly after, 3 men in a red Nissan pulled up alongside and opened fire. 2 of the young people in the car were shot. Both are expected to recover. Police believe the suspects are members of a local gang. And police are still searching for 2 gunmen this afternoon after they killed 2 people in a drive-by shooting over the weekend. It happened in Northwest Dade Saturday night in the parking lot of Johnny's LBR Club. Police say 2 men drove by and opened fire. One of the victims, Dennis Knight, was killed instantly. The other, Floyd Plummer, died at a hospital. Police are looking for 2 men driving an older model blue Chevrolet Impala.
Investigators in Palm Beach are questioning a suspect right now, trying to piece together a murder mystery. The bodies of 2 teenagers were found in a normally quiet neighborhood. NBC 6 reporter Sandra Peebles is live outside police headquarters in Palm Beach Gardens with the latest. Sandra?
Well, Kelly, I'm actually on the scene where all this occurred. As you can imagine, it's a very sad day for the victims of these 2 teenagers. Now, earlier today, a group of them were here. They came to pay respects. They left this cross and these flowers marking the area where these 2 bodies were discovered in this cattle ranch you see here behind me. And if you take a look how close this is to this neighborhood, homes are right there. Now, right now, we don't know the details surrounding this murder. Police are keeping pretty tight-lipped about it. The investigation continues, and they are close to making a second arrest. Here's what we do know. A tip led investigators to the wooded area. For 2 days, a foul odor reeked in this quiet suburb of Palm Beach County. At about 3:30 Sunday afternoon, police made the gruesome discovery.
We responded up there to the wooded area north of Cabana Colony yesterday afternoon, where we had located the bodies of 2 white male victims who had both been shot.
Heard gunshots either Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon, about 5 shots, roughly 100 yards away from where I played basketball on the street, just fooling around with the neighbors. And for the last 2 nights, I smelled a very foul odor.
The victims, 19-year-old Michael Teed and 19-year-old David Lee, were last seen Wednesday night. Within hours of the discovery, police arrested 16-year-old Vu Van Nguyen. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Police are working on a second arrest. Last night, friends and family came to the Teed home, offering their condolences.
He was someone you're just pleased to know him. He was just a really kind-hearted, sweet person.
It's been a shock to the neighborhood and to, friends and family. I mean, we were devastated with the news.
Now, once again, a 16-year-old has been arrested in this case. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. There is a second suspect. We know he is 18 years old, a white male. Police have not yet made that arrest. However, they do expect to make it later on today. Reporting live in Palm Beach Gardens, I'm Sandra Peebles, NBC 6.
All right, thank you, Sandra. After a weekend break, jurors in the retrial of Hialeah Mayor Raul Martinez are deliberating again this afternoon. The judge handed the case to jurors on Friday. Martinez is being tried on federal charges of fraud and extortion. He was convicted on similar charges in 1991, but that decision was reversed on appeal. If convicted this time, Martinez could face a maximum sentence of 100 years behind bars. English-only proponents gaining new support this afternoon. Supreme Court justices have agreed to hear arguments in an Arizona case that could impact how business is conducted all over the country. The case centers around a 1988 amendment to the Arizona Constitution that requires English be the only language spoken in most business situations. The justices will be deciding whether states have a right to impose such restrictions.
Well, a huge spring storm is bringing snow, wind, and death to the Midwest. So far, 4 people have died in weather-related traffic accidents. From Texas to the Dakotas, winds have been blowing as high as 50 miles an hour. Some places received more than 20 inches of snow from this storm. Further south, hail and freezing rain are also causing hazardous road conditions. And more snow problems, this time in New Hampshire. Searchers have recovered the bodies of 2 people buried in an avalanche on Mount Washington. That avalanche roared down a popular hiking and skiing area on the mountain known as the Gulf of Slides. 3 people were swept about 500 feet down the Northeast's highest mountain. The deadly avalanche actually spared that 3rd person who was able to sidestep the surging snow as it slid under his feet.
While Mother Nature is sparing us from the cold weather up north, she's giving us other problems here in South Florida. Reports are coming in of many man-o-wars at Haulover Beach. The warning came after several people suffered painful stings. But the jellyfish aren't the biggest problem. Rip currents are. This weekend, lifeguards rescued at least 6 beachgoers.
Got to be careful for that. Yep. Well, the British, who think they deserve a break today, won't find it at McDonald's. Ahead, find out why most of them will be asking, where's the beef instead?
Spring is supposed to be busting out all over, but someone forgot to tell Old Man Winter.
And just about everyone in Hollywood, both men and women, would kill to get a date with this guy. We're talking Oscar, of course. Bo Griffin will be here in just a moment with a look at the biggest night in show business.
The NBC6 Weather Team. David Damien.
People count on us for up-to-the-minute accurate information.
Bob Weaver.
You know, I've tracked more hurricanes than most people can remember.
Lori Miller.
A strong background in tropical weather is a must in South Florida.
Maria Gennaro.
You see, a great forecast takes more than one person. It takes a team that knows our community.
The NBC6 Weather Team. Another reason why NBC6 is where the news comes first.
Here's your drink. You're in a restaurant. This is your choice. This? 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 Boom. As sweet as this. No bitterness like this with saccharin. And good.
Equal. 0 calories, 0 saccharin.
It's not going to change your life, but it's going to make it a little sweeter.
Our biggest responsibility is communicating with our clients, to be there when they need us.
Our practice is just solely handling personal injury cases. We make sure that we give our clients straight answers for their questions.
Every client that calls our office can be sure that he's going to be represented by me, Alan Tellisman,
or me, Howard Gross.
For a free consultation, call the offices of Gross and Tellisman today.
We're the ones to call.
Good news. At Bally Total Fitness, you can work out for just $19 a month. Just think, for only $19, you can get the attention you deserve. And do something about the attention you don't want. So shape up. Get noticed. Just call 1-800-WORKOUT. Do it now.
Well, I hope you have the shades handy for today. The Ray-Ban UV index today, 7 on the high side. It's actually a little bit above 7, so it means plenty of sunshine today, even though there'll be some clouds around. Are we going to continue with our nice weather? I'll tell you all about it in a little while.
There's a word for good health.
For feeling good and feeling good about yourself. There's a word for being active, remaining vital. There's a word for living life to the fullest. Twin Lab. Vitamins, minerals, nutritional supplements.
Buying a used car nightmare number 2. Financing.
No. Never. Impossible. Where do you think you are? Cars, yes?
At Cars Yes, we love to say yes. Only the nation's largest used car company could give you peace of mind financing. Cars Yes has a financing plan that's right for you. Whether your credit is good or bad, call 1-800-CARS-YES, where peace of mind is guaranteed.
Gotta keep practicing. Gotta get these moves down. I'm gonna be the best basketball player in the world. Yes! Yes, someday I'm gonna be a Harlem Globetrotter!
Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters, Sunday, March 31st, 4 p.m. at the Miami Arena. Tickets at the box office at all Ticketmaster locations are charged by phone.
Weather changes quickly in South Florida. To keep up, call the NBC6 weather phone in Dade 273-4473, code 6666. In Broward 731-7000, code 6666. It's free in the service of the IT Network and Channel 6 News.
Ready, set, go to the Science of Sports at the Museum of Discovery and Science. See live shows including rap basketball, sponsored by NBC6, Sun Sentinel, and Tenant South Florida Health Systems.
For most customers at McDonald's restaurants in Britain, there is no break today and no burgers either. So where's the beef? Off the menu because of the threat of the so-called mad cow disease. NBC's Keith Miller reports.
You can still order fries, but there are no burgers. McDonald's has stopped the sale of British beef at every outlet in the country. The concern about contaminated beef has sent the sale of burgers and all meat products plunging.
They're telling us via the telephone, via our contacts in restaurants, that they're worried about British beef. I must respond to that.
Before today, McDonald's was selling almost 2 million burgers a day. The British beef industry is facing disaster after scientists discovered a link between mad cow disease and a similar infection in humans. Government health experts are meeting today to decide if children should eat beef. British consumers are making up their own minds.
What are you eating now? Why didn't you buy a beef burger?
Because of the mad cow disease, I don't want to turn into one.
Dozens of countries have banned British beef imports. There will be a government debate later today over the slaughter of up to 11 million cattle to stop the disease and eventually restore confidence in British beef. Keith Miller, NBC News, London.
What a disaster for the beef industry over there. And we should tell you that just moments ago, Wendy's announced that it is not going to serve up British beef, but hamburgers are still being sold at Burger King's in Britain. And as a matter of fact, the Miami-based chain says they're waiting for the outcome of a top-level meeting to decide whether to ban the beef until this whole scare is over.
Well, another major retailer filing for bankruptcy protection today, Discovery Zone, which manufactures indoor playground equipment, says it expanded too fast and will now begin closing unprofitable stores. Discovery Zone is partly owned by Viacom, and Viacom Chairman Sumner Redstone has now resigned from Discovery Zone's board. The company has 347 stores. You may have noticed you're paying more now at the pump. Across the country, the price has risen 3 cents a gallon. Analysts say the increase due to higher crude prices, higher demand due to warmer weather, and higher costs from refining cleaner blends of fuel. All right, our noon look at Wall Street looks like this. The Dow at 5646, up a little over 10 points. Volume 120 million shares. The NASDAQ at 1,096, down 5 and a fraction. Volume there 147 million shares. Our selected noontime stocks, AT&T up 3/4. Look at GE, up 3/4 to 79 1/8. IBM is down 2 5/8. Bell South up 1/4. Disney is up 3/8. Ford Motor Company at 34 3/8, up 3/4.
Well, that huge snowstorm that we talked about a moment ago blanketing the Midwest is really wreaking havoc on travel. In Minneapolis, for instance, the snow and ice is proving to be a cash cow for tow truck operators. With all the vehicles sliding away, more than 300 accidents have been reported in the last 48 hours in Minneapolis alone. What a rough winter those folks have had.
Well, you know, they've had not only a lot of snow, but they've had flooding, and then just today they've had another 8 or 10 inches of snow. And then in advance of it, it's all been in the form of rainfall. The colder air is moving in. Don't forget, all this has to melt off yet.
Right.
So there are more problems on the way. But again, when you look at all of that, you say, gee.
Thank God we're here.
Isn't it great? Right? You don't have to shovel any of the sunshine, right? Let's take a look at the live shot here from our Grove Cam at Cocoa Walk. Just a beautiful day. I guess it is a little bit windy for some of the boaters, but all in all, it's just a pretty day with plenty of sunshine. And the winds will eventually come down so you can get the boat out there and do some fishing. Temperature right now, 77. The relative humidity, 56%. The wind's out of the southeast at about 17. The barometer's 30-18 steady, and there's no rain in the rain gauge. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. Here's that storm now. See the frontal system come all the way into the south. It's moving into North Florida. Will not get down this far, at least for now. You have several days of nice weather. It doesn't look like this particular system will ever make it this far south. It's going to pull to the east and to the north. It'll engulf a lot of the eastern areas, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. The backside is going to draw in some of the colder air, and that's all going to be snow. You can see it here through Minnesota and then moving into the lakes region. Some of that will be heavy. Some of this weather will be violent over the center and southern sections, so we'll keep watching that. In the meantime, brand new storm is winding up in the western areas, and we'll keep track of that for you. Locally here, let's take a look at a couple of things. Temperatures now, you can see them all in the 70s. It'll get to near 80 degrees through South Florida today. Some sections will reach the 80-degree mark. There's the area over North Florida. The system moving in, temperatures there are in the upper 60s. Now, let's go through the forecast for you so you can plan your day. Mostly sunny. It's going to be warm. Watch out, it's going to be breezy. Hat pins the order of the day. It'll be about 80 degrees for a high. And then if you're going out tonight, no major problems, but we're starting to get a little deeper fetch over the water, a longer fetch over the water. And so you're going to bring some showers in during the night and the morning hours. There's a small craft advisory out. The sea's about 5 to 7 feet. The overnight low about 68 degrees. Next 4 days, partly sunny, a few scattered showers, and temperatures in the 80s. Go out and have a wonderful time. Just be careful. Now here's Bob.
Well, if your first, last, or middle name is Oscar, today is your lucky day. And no, we're not talking about Oscar Mayer. If your name is Oscar, any name at all, you just won a free trip to Los Angeles, where the Academy Awards will be handed out later today. Carnival Airlines passing out free tickets to any and all Oscars on a space-available basis, of course. This Oscar Cardenas, was very glad that his mom chose to name him Oscar. This morning, he jetted from Lauderdale to Hollywood International to Tinseltown. Once he gets there, he's on his own to find a ticket, though, to tonight's ceremony.
Yeah, don't push it,
Right.
Oscar. By the way, the last Oscar-free flight leaves tonight from Miami at 5:30. And speaking of which, quicker than you can say lights, camera, and action, tonight's Oscar ceremony will start.
And to help us through all of the notable nominees, NBC6 Entertainment and Lifestyle reporter Bo Griffin is here with a preview.
Whoa, I mean, it's very exciting, especially it is because it is Hollywood's hottest night, and it comes complete with stars, surprises, special appearances, and a growing controversy.
And we're doing it in a totally new way.
Claudia Schiffer, Pierce Brosnan, and Naomi Campbell are among the many stars that are making last-minute run-throughs of their roles in tonight's 68th annual awards ceremony.
Present the costumes from Sense and Sensibility.
They're the nominating committee for the Best Combination, Best Costume Award, and Fashion Show. But it's the award for Best Picture that's really getting most of the attention. A talking pig may steal the show.
It was very kind of a pleasure. A nice little pig.
Babe may beat out Apollo 13, Braveheart, The Postman, and Sense and Sensibility as the Best Picture. All eyes will also be on the leading ladies of Hollywood tonight. The Best Actress nominees include a very surprised Sharon Stone for Casino, Susan Sarandon in Dead Man Walking, Meryl Streep in The Bridges of Madison County, and Elizabeth Shue, another big surprise nominee for her role in Leaving Las Vegas. And let's not forget the classic star Emma Thompson in Sense and Sensibility. Controversy is clouding the awards, though. Of the 166 nominees, only one is an African-American. And that is the reason why the Reverend Jesse Jackson is calling for a boycott. He says the Academy is racist.
Here we have all of this talent and 35% of the box office, and yet African-Americans
1 nomination, Latinos, 0, Native Americans, 0, Asian Americans, 0.
The Academy denies that there is racism and points out that tonight's program will be hosted by Whoopi Goldberg and Quincy Jones. Now, both are saying very little about the planned protest. The Academy's voting membership is just 4% black. At the award show the last 3 years, only 4 blacks have been nominated for the Oscar. So tonight, Jackson is calling for a protest in 25 major cities, including Miami, outside TV stations broadcasting the program.
I got here Thursday about 11 in the morning.
The controversy is not keeping the fans away. Fans started lining up outside the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion on Thursday, and all are hoping to be close enough to see the stars come out tonight. Well, those precious Academy Award ballots have been sent off, returned, counted, and secured by the accounting firm Price Waterhouse. So now all we have to do is wait and see who takes home the actual Oscar. I think it's really going to be a toss-up. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Babe might win for the Best Picture. They're expecting Sharon Stone possibly for Casino, as well as Sean Penn for Best Actor. But I think that both of those categories are complete toss-ups. And if Babe wins, I just think I will, swear off bacon for a long time.
And hot dogs. All right. Both thanks. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, now an update on some new brush fires we told you about that are breaking out in South Florida. NBC6 photographer Mike Zimmer is live in Sky 6. Mike, what can you see from your vantage point?
Okay, Bob, let me give you an idea of exactly where we are. We're about 220th Street, South Dixie Highway, just west of the Turnpike, and you can see these fires started up over in this area, and because of this strong southeast wind, they have shifted over to this auto repair store, and I don't know if you can even see it now. It's engulfed in a lot of smoke right now. Metro Dade Fire and the Division of Forestry have been working these flames all afternoon, and it's really just heated up over about the last 30 minutes. Now what this is doing is causing a problem because of these stiff winds. This is South Dixie Highway, and as you can see, they may have actually just closed off the highway. I'm going to tilt up here and let you see just exactly how thick this smoke is. They had this problem a few weeks back down in the Keys closing off US 1, and this may exactly be what's happening right now. Once again, these fires have started up probably this bad over about the last 30 minutes, and the biggest area they're threatening right now is this auto repair shop.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you, how close is this section to Metro Zoo? Because as you know, the smoke could just waft over there and pose another threat to the animals.
I was checking that out as I was flying out. It's not close at all. Metro Zoo is probably about 152nd, and it's just further west of here. So right now, in this particular fire, this is not threatening Metro Zoo, but in this particular case, there's a number of firefighters and Division of Forestry. They're all back in this smoke, and their major concern right now is this auto repair shop.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Well, still to come, we just talked about it a moment ago. We're going to have the very latest as Metro Zoo opens its doors after that big scare from a blazing brush fire over the weekend.
Republican frontrunner Bob Dole stretches out his hand to Pat Buchanan and Ross Perot and makes them an offer he hopes they won't refuse.
And astronaut Shannon Lucid says goodbye to the shuttle Atlantis. We'll tell you how she's making herself at home on the Russian Mir space station.
3 men, 2 guns, 1 bullet. And 2 opposite sides of the story.
I thought he was going to kill you.
We're trying to cover up cold-blooded murder.
This week, one woman must decide who's telling the truth.
If there were only proof one way or the other.
You're going to have to decide who you believe.
If you don't believe me, our marriage will be destroyed.
While the conflict continues.
I shot Jude to save your life. Now you are a murderer.
Days of Our Lives at 1 on NBC6.
Sparkle. When it comes to taking...
Well, for those of you who just joined us, here are our top stories. The flames are out, the animals are safe, and now the cleanup begins at Metro Zoo following this weekend's raging wildfire. After shutting down Sunday, the gates reopened today. The blaze burned more than 100 acres of zoo property. Investigators are looking into a couple of other fires believed to have been the work of arsonists. Residents at the Palm Air condominium complex say the fires were set soon after they found a swastika scratched inside an elevator at the building. And the sole survivor of a tragic plane crash in the Keys is being released from the hospital today. 10-year-old Matthew Blackburn will be going home from the Ryder Trauma Unit at Jackson Memorial Hospital. 4 of his family members were killed in the plane crash.
With more than enough delegate votes to win the GOP presidential nomination, Bob Dole is confidently heading to Tuesday's California primary. And as NBC's Gwen Eiffel tells us, Dole is asking rival Pat Buchanan and Ross Perot to get out of his way.
United States, the Honorable Bob Dole.
Bob Dole sees the brass ring with suddenly tired of all the distractions. To Ross Perot and Pat Buchanan, the message is back off.
And I say to Ross Perot, the one barrier has been Bill Clinton. Let's not get in the race and make it more difficult for the Republican. Let's get in the race and make it easier for the Republican to send Bill Clinton back to Little Rock.
Perot's response:
if the American people were satisfied with the performance of the two parties, 62% of them wouldn't want a new party.
Buchanan, too, is closing no doors.
Well, I think I would say this, Tim. All the options are open.
Republicans have begun to worry that Buchanan's continuing crusade and Perot's broad hints of possible candidacy are only weakening the likely nominee.
I think Ross Perot would be Bill Clinton's best friend. I think that would make it very difficult for any Republican to win California.
Dole, who laid a wreath yesterday on Richard Nixon's California grave, sees the same arithmetic.
We're down to two of us. And I would hope that Pat Buchanan would find it in his heart, as a good Republican, as I know he is, to join forces and to close ranks and bring this party together.
Buchanan is hoping his continuing presence in the race will give him political leverage. But Ross Perot can buy his own leverage, and he scares Bob Dole a great deal more. Gwen Eiffel, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Bob Dole is hoping to make a campaign swing through his home state of Kansas later today, but that huge spring snowstorm is sweeping across the state right now and may force Dole to change those plans.
Meantime, the First Lady is venturing to the front lines of the Bosnia peacekeeping mission. Singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow is also there performing her hits for the troops and Hillary Rodham Clinton, and daughter Chelsea also enjoyed the show. It is the first time since Eleanor Roosevelt for a First Lady to go to the front lines and see the troops. Her mission, of course, to thank the men and women in uniform for taking part in the risky duty. This morning, the First Lady met with representatives of the various factions in the former Yugoslavia, where she heard a first-hand account of the horrors of the Bosnian War. Shuttle Atlantis astronaut Shannon Lucid is getting used to her new digs 245 miles above Earth. Lucid is moving into the Russian space station Mir, her home for the next 5 months. John Holloman has all the details in a very busy moving day.
The Mir space station is seen from the cargo bay of Shuttle Atlantis. The two spaceships now joined at the red docking tunnel supplied on a previous shuttle trip to Mir. You can see the tunnel at the bottom of your screen. Inside, the astronauts and cosmonauts have become moving men and women, bringing more than 2 tons of water and other supplies to the space station from the shuttle and carrying broken parts of the Russian ship into Space Lab in the shuttle's cargo bay for a trip to the repair shop back on Earth. While some astronauts were doing heavy lifting in weightlessness, others were beginning experiments in material science and biomedical research in a glove box on the Atlantis side of the joint spaceship. Something you don't get to see often, the Earth spinning 240 miles below the orbiting Russian-American laboratory. It's cloudy over much of the planet right now. One of the new experiments this trip is called KidSat. There's a camera on board Atlantis that can be remote controlled by youngsters in classrooms all over the U.S. The pictures they're getting are sometimes as good as these. Now, these pictures look like something from science fiction, but they're real. Different camera angles as Atlantis approached Mir during the weekend docking. It was conducted while the two ships were orbiting 245 miles up over Russia and much of Europe and Asia. And we got to see the cosmonauts' eye view of the hatch opening ceremony. There was a big bear hug between the commanders of the two ships before the Atlantis crew got to come aboard Mir. For astronaut Shannon Lucid, who you can see floating around in the middle of your screen here, this was day 1 of 142 days as a member of the Mir crew. By the time she gets home in August, she'll have been in space longer than any other American. John Holloman reporting.
And down here on the ground, stargazers across the country gathered under open skies away from city lights in hopes of seeing the brightest comet to pass the Earth in decades. For most, the once-in-a-lifetime chance paid off. Many people in the northern hemisphere were able to catch a glimpse of Comet Hyakutake early this morning. That comet is visible to the naked eye and is just below the Big Dipper. Once again, we're going to go out to Sky 6 and Mike Zimmer standing by. Mike, how's that brush fire looking now? It looks like it's gotten a little bit worse.
Yeah, Kelly, you're exactly right. It has, and as you can see here, they're starting to move units in from the Division of Forestry. The only barrier they have right now is just a cement wall that's holding this fire back from this auto repair store. As you can see, they have, in fact, rerouted traffic off of US 1 right here on this Perman Road. So if you're heading down south, you're going to run into a big traffic problem. Once again, the smoke is really, really thick. And if this wind keeps up in this direction, we'll probably have this battling this for most part of the day, Kelly.
What a mess. All right, Mike, keep an eye on it for us. Thank you.
Well, the Federal Reserve Board meets tomorrow to decide what to do next with interest rates. There have been numerous conflicting indicators about the economy's health in the last few weeks, but most Fed watchers expect the central bankers to leave rates alone, at least for now. The stocks of cellular phone companies like Motorola could see some more action in trading today. The cellular phone industry says now that more than 10 million Americans signed on with cell phone companies last year. That is a 40% jump. They've gotten so affordable and easy to carry that more people signed on in 1995 than have used cellular phones in the last 9 years. And Ben Franklin's face has gotten bigger, but no matter what size, he's still worth just $100. The new $100 bill with a larger off-center picture of old Ben goes into circulation officially today. That means they're being shipped from the Treasury to banks today, and you'll actually start seeing them in banks on Wednesday. It's the first major change to American currency since 1928.
And he doesn't look any happier to be on that new bill either. The same on his face.
Not a day older either.
No. Well, environmentalists vow to do anything to stop the slaughter. Ahead, hear why the state of Washington says it's about to start shooting sea lions.
And you got $5 to spare? Why not use it to buy yourself a car? We'll tell you about the deal of the century coming up on NBC 6.
She came to town with a dark past and a hidden agenda.
Scrounge up some information. Already on it.
This week, her secret.
This is a dangerous woman we're talking about here. Blair Baker is the infamous Cobra. We should probably warn Sinclair.
Is not a secret anymore.
Gary was the one that sent you up the river.
What are you going to do? One word from me and your little secret gets blown out of the water.
You want something from me, don't you?
Don't know. You'll have to wait and see.
And this is just the beginning.
Another World at 2 on NBC 6.
Bring your family to Hoggett's Farm, where ducks crow, mice croon, and one special pig will capture your heart.
I want my mom. There.
MCA Universal Home Video presents Faith, nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year. Now available on video cassette. Look for the Francis the Talking Mule Collection $5 mail-in rebate offer.
My beloved daughter, I'm writing to tell you something very important. Today we visited Menorah to take care of all our funeral prearrangements. Everyone at Menorah was so understanding. They helped us make all the right decisions for our future. Now we can enjoy peace of mind, and I don't want you to worry either.
Ask about our pre-need mausoleum or ground burial package for just $2,112 a person. Menorah, the people who care.
6 Neighborhood Network, brought to you by Bell South, only on NBC 6.
Well, let's take a quick trip around in case you're traveling. First of all, for the state of Florida, no major problems there. Over North Florida now, you begin to see some of that area associated with the front moving into Tallahassee now with some showers, possibly some thunderstorms. There it is over the southeast. Temperatures there are in the 60s and 70s, a nice warm day. Over northern sections around New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, increasing clouds and temperatures there in the 50s and 60s.
Buying a used car, nightmare number 1. The used car you just bought breaks down. It could cost you a fortune. How do you avoid this? Buy from Cars Yes, the nation's largest used car company. Only Cars Yes gives you the peace of mind warranty. We warranty the engine, transmission, and many other parts for 12 months, whether your credit is good or bad. Call 1-800-CARS-YES, where peace of mind is guaranteed.
Next time, Cars Yes.
At Fuddruckers, come on over to the fun. Take your taste to a different place.
Want a fresh place to go out to eat? Fuddruckers is the home of the world's greatest hamburger. So come on over for the fun. Visit our famous Fuddruckers Topping Bar. And to top that off, our bacon cheeseburger combo is now only $5.99. Fuddruckers, now home to delicious new combos. So come get a taste.
At Fuddruckers, come on over to the fun. Take your taste to a different place.
I wanted her to be treated like a queen for a day.
How do you thank someone special?
Come on out, mystery person.
You get Sally to surprise them.
How do you feel knowing your 11-year-old wrote me asking to do something special? That's not him.
And make their wishes come true.
Say hello to your date named Chuck. I want you to say hello to the woman you called Mom. Oh, Mom.
Next, Sally.
Sally, weekdays at 3, following Another World on NBC 6.
Nike presents Hoop It Up, brought to you locally by WTVJ.
Hoop It Up is the official 3-on-3 of the NBA and has a division for all ages and abilities. Hoop It Up returns to Miami on April 20th through 21st, this year with referees on all courts. Entry forms available at all area Foot Locker locations. Call 1-800-680-PLAY for more information. Don't miss Images on Ice, a spectacular ice skating review at the Dade County Youth Fair, March 14th through the 31st. Free with your Dade Fair admission. Brought to you by NBC6 and these sponsors.
Animal activists are coming to the rescue of some sea lions on death row. It's because Washington state lawmakers are signing off on a controversial plan to start shooting sea lions that are caught eating an endangered species of salmon. Bill Stamps has the story.
Tomorrow. Please help us save the sea lions from possible death tomorrow morning by Washington State Fish and Wildlife agents.
They made an impassioned plea for help, but not everyone here at the Ballard Locks was willing to listen.
What are we going to do?
The sea lions.
Well, Herschel is out there eating.
Would you kill one of these sea lions?
No, I would not. But
You wouldn't kill one yourself, right?
But
Then why do you want
the government?
salmon, Why do you want the government to kill them for you?
Hey, the people built this, and
that was a mistake.
It's a mistake, but we got to do something to compromise it.
And that's how the morning began for these animal rights activists, upset over the state's announcement that it will soon begin shooting troublesome sea lions. About 5 of the big beasts are on wildlife agents' most wanted list for eating too many steelhead. Protest organizer Wayne Johnson's vowing to do all he can to stop the executions. The sea lions this year haven't consumed any steelhead. And the sea lions last year, consumed 11 steelhead, and we're going to execute them for that? We think that's wrong.
Please help us.
But at times, Johnson had problems getting his message across.
If you wouldn't kill the sea lions yourself,
Excuse me, why don't you shut up?
would you let somebody else do it?
No, you too old to talk like that.
Yeah, haven't you heard about free speech? You know, we have a First Amendment right to be here, or don't you support the Constitution?
This controversial issue figures to heat up even more once the state comes out here with their guns. Not only will the protesters be here, but some people who are for the shooting of the sea lions say they'll be here as well, setting the scene for a possible confrontation.
Oh, I'll be here. Why? Well, you know, I mean, I've heard about it, and I want to see it actually happen.
Fisherman Mike Kloss doesn't buy the activist's idea that the mammals should be left alone to eat as they please.
I think that's similar to allowing a criminal offender to rape, pillage, and burn at will.
Apparently, state officials agree.
The animal rights activists say they are searching for the 3 targeted sea lions, and if they get to them first, they'll try and capture them and relocate them far outside of the danger zone.
You know, it's still spring break for millions of college students, and the American Medical Association says more and more are enjoying their time off from classes in an alcoholic haze. The AMA survey says 40% of college students admit they plan on getting mentally and physically tipsy from booze and beer. The study also finds that students in the Northeast are twice as likely to binge drink as those in any other part of the country. Students in the Pacific Northwest drink the least. Well, you can see former Surgeon General C. Everett Koop at your local drugstore. Koop is launching a line of medical education videos that will soon be sold in pharmacies across the country. Now, the videos aren't meant to be a substitute for a trip to the doctor's office for a checkup. Instead, Koop hopes they will make patients better health care consumers and help you ask your doctor better questions. There will be more than 30 titles on the most commonly diagnosed ailments, and they will be in a language that everybody can understand, and he assures us that they will not be in doctorese. And if one baby is a blessing, how about 2 or 3 bundles of joy? Ahead, see how a family is dealing with 6 times the funds.
And before the Oscars are handed out to the best and the brightest in movies, the Razzie Awards honor Hollywood's worst. Stay tuned.
It's glitz, glamour, glory. It's Oscar night. Tonight at 5, find out why a racial controversy may overshadow this year's Oscars. We'll take you live to Hollywood for a preview. The Academy Awards. Live coverage beginning at 5 on Channel 6 News. But the news comes first. Welcome. The news app or catch it on your video camera. Call the NBC6 tip line. In Dade, call 379 News or 771 News in Broward. NBC6, where the news comes first.
The Wizard from three-point land. Book it.
The Heat are hot. Last night at the Fleet Center in Boston, check out the pass from Rex Chapman. The bullet ricochets into the hands of Chris Gatling, who feeds Alonzo Mourning for the throwdown. Walt the Wizard Williams shows his magic touch from long range, and Chapman says, anything you can do, I can do for another tray. Miami goes on to beat Boston for win number number 4 in a row, 111-95. Why is Steffi Graf the #1 seed at Lipton Tennis Championships? Ask Gigi Fernandez. With one powerful forehand swing after another, Graf breezed past Fernandez in just 66 minutes, posting a 6-3, 6-2 victory. Other winners include Mary Jo Fernandez and Jennifer Capriati. To the men's draw, second-seeded Pete Sampras facing Jacob Haslick. Pete always brings a big forehand to the court with him. He blisters one down the line. Match point, Pete wins 7-5, 7-6. Even the breeze couldn't slow down Sampras' big swing. Other winners, Chang, Ivanisevic, Krajcek, Peter Korda, and Todd Martin. The real Cinderella has shown up to claim her slipper at the NCAA Big Basketball Dance. Mississippi State's Dante Jones launches a 3 and hits, then more Jones with the turnaround. If it feels good, do it. Cincinnati couldn't stop the Dogs, so Cincy is sent packing 73-63. Western Regional Final, Syracuse and Kansas. Scott Pollard with the "So Who Says White Man Can't Jump" slam. The Orangemen answer with the big man John Wallace for the lay-in. Syracuse leads by 9 at the half. Guess who rallies the Jayhawks? Why, it's Jock Vaughn. 3 ball, good. The game is tied, but Syracuse is not impressed. Jason Sapalo avoids the steal with the nerves of steel, drills a 3, trailing by 3 with time running out. Why, it's Jock Vaughn, who will take the last chance shot. Is it good? No. Bye-bye, Kansas. Give my regards to Dorothy. Syracuse wins and will face Mississippi State on Saturday. UMass will play Kentucky in the Final Four. I'm Joe Rose, NBC 6 Sports.
You better hurry, Jake, or you're going to miss the bus. I forgot. I got to bring something soft for show and tell. Oh, Jake.
Looking for softness?
I got it.
One thing feels right. Strong, soft, Angel Soft bath tissue.
Soft. Mom? Mom? Mom, what about this?
Perfect. Now that's very soft.
Angel Soft. It's not just a name. It's a feeling. Beneath your home lies another home, the home of millions of hungry subterranean termites, with hundreds of tunnels stretching thousands of yards. There's nothing termites won't do to ultimately eat you out of house and home. That was until Centricon, the first ever colony elimination system that monitors and baits to get termites where they live. For the name of the authorized pest control operator nearest you, call this number and get their home before they get yours.
Every day we face situations in which a little extra care could have avoided being in an accident. Unfortunately, accidents do happen. At Cohen & Cohen, we've been helping accident victims for almost 25 years with competence, professionalism, and personal attention. If you're injured in any type of accident, one simple phone call to Cohen & Cohen can help answer questions regarding your legal rights. Call the attorneys at Cohen & Cohen now at 1-800-33-COHEN.
We started thinking the best way to get rid of plaque would be to just build a better toothbrush.
That's how we came up with the Advantage.
The handle's ergonomic, so you can actually get a better grip on it.
Then we designed the power tip so it really gets behind your back teeth.
And the Action Cup, so it's great at removing plaque along the gum line.
It's the best toothbrush we've ever made.
Who knows more about what makes a better toothbrush than Oral-B?
It is the brand more dentists use.
Could the air you breathe be bad for you? Tonight at 5:30, from brush fires to pollen to unusual weather, hidden hazards may be polluting the air. Find out how you can protect yourself. Unhealthy air? Tonight at 5:30 on Channel 6 News, where the news comes first.
Welcome back. I want to keep you updated on that situation in South Dade where a stretch of US 1 has had to have been closed down because of more brush fires. Photographer Mike Zimmer is up in Sky 6 with the very latest. Mike, how's it looking?
Kelly, let me give you a reference right here. This is the Cutler Ridge Mall in Southwest Dade, and this right here is 216th Street. And as you can see, the traffic is being routed both east and west of that. Now, if we could swing around, I'll give you a reference as to exactly how much of the of US 1 is being blocked off. The fires down here, they're still working this, and obviously you can see the smoke is still pretty heavy. I'm going to try to zoom right through this smoke here. You can see on the other end, the traffic is also being routed. So anybody heading down south is going to run into a little bit of a traffic jam, Kelly.
All right, Mike, thanks very much, and we'll check in with you again at 5 o'clock.
We are now under 4 months until the 1996 Olympics begin in Atlanta and here in South Florida.
And the nation's bank reminds us only 114 days remain before the 1996 Olympic soccer event begins right here at our very own Orange Bowl.
Well, what do we go into a break now or what?
No, go ahead and read that about the dramatic rescue.
All right. 3 Russian explorers are lucky to be alive today thanks to the help of the U.S. Coast Guard.
The 3 men were hoping to be the first ever to ski across the frozen sea near the Bering Strait from Siberia to Alaska. But in bad weather, they got caught on a large chunk of ice that was drifting in the wrong direction. Good news is the Coast Guard followed the signal of an emergency device and rescued them. Congratulations are in order 6 times for an Albany, New York couple. Talk about your bundle of joy, and I mean big old bundle. Norman and Michelle Hayner are the proud parents of 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls.
A lot of kids. The sextuplets were born last Friday and all weighed over 2 pounds. The couple had been undergoing fertility treatment when the children were conceived. Doctors say mother and kids are doing just fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
One more time, we're going to check in with Mr. Weaver on another beautiful forecast. Bob?
Oh, just a great day today. If you're going out, you will see some clouds around. Folks up in the northern sections are not very, very happy right now. I think you'll get a better look at this if I stand on this side. And notice here's the rainfall moving in, but notice the turnaround here. You see the snowfall on the other side because that's where the cold air is being dragged down. This system will move to the north and to the east and finally get out of there. It's a very fast-moving system, so they'll improve very, very rapidly. Now, let's take a look at what's happening here. Here's the forecast for today. Should be a really nice day. We'll call it mostly sunny and warm. There'll be some clouds around. Every once in a while, cover the sun, but you'll still have plenty of it. And it's going to be warm but breezy, and the small craft advisory is in effect. It'll be about 80 degrees. Going out tonight, no major problems, but you'll begin to see a few showers around tonight and tomorrow morning. You may have a few showers when you're coming in to work or going to school. Small craft advisory is in effect tonight also. The sea's about 5 to 7 feet. That's the weather picture. It looks like we're going to stay this way right through the week with warm temperatures and just a few little showers here and there. That's the weather picture. Here's Kelly.
Okay, Bob, you're watching NBC6, but you can also listen in. We want to remind you wherever you have a standard FM radio. Just tune your radio to 87.7 on the FM dial, in the car, at the beach, just about anywhere. And you can keep up with NBC Soap, Sally Montel, and, of course, NBC6 News 24 hours a day. Bargain hunters, and aren't we all really?
Yep.
You're going to like this story. The car sale to end all car sales.
That's right. For less than the price of a tank of gas, a whole lot less than a tank of gas, you could have been the owner of a car in Cleveland, Ohio. Hundreds of people showed up Sunday to buy used cars and trucks for as little as $5 apiece. A dealership held a one-day sale to move out a huge inventory of trade-ins.
Think anybody tried to get them down to $4.50?
I doubt it.
Ferociously foul-smelling footwear was something to be proud of in Vermont this weekend.
Entries for the 21st Annual Odor Eaters International Rotten Sneaker Contest came from all over the country. Everyone was raising a stink in this contest, including one of the judges, Miss Flower the Skunk. The winner of the smelly sneakers won a new pair of shoes, a year's supply of odor eaters, and a $500 savings bond. From shoes that really stink to the real stinkers in the movies. The Oscars honor the best, the Golden Raspberry Awards honor the worst. This year, the critically unacclaimed striptease flick Showgirls set an all-time record for the Razzies, taking home 7 awards, including Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Actress. Other unacclaimed films to win: Four Rooms, Jury Duty, The Scarlet Letter, and Waterworld. About 450 film professionals, journalists, and fans vote on those awards.
Now, was Waterworld all that bad?
I feel sorry for Waterworld, don't you?
I thought it was good.
I missed it.
It's coming out. It's on tape, or soon will be, and pay-per-view.
Think it got a bad rap?
Well, because it was so expensive to make, but overall it was a good movie. It was like everybody compares it to that one movie, Road Warrior.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what it was on the water. So, Razzie, I don't know about that.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock.
Time flies.